Welcome to Wild Country Acres. My name is Janine. I am the mom, the farmer, the wife of this crazy place that I call home, and very excited that you're here today because today we are talking about one of my favorite subjects. And if you live where you have snow for a large portion of the year, you know, this white stuff that you see behind me, that's my garden. Right there, literally, I can see this right here is my gate that we have to take off in the wintertime because the snow gets too deep and we can't move it. So literally right behind me is my garden. And in front of me, while we are nice and roasty toasty in the house, is my kitchen table and / classroom, if you can't tell by some of the homeschooling gear I have behind me. So little backstory before we get going. So we're going to talk about seeds and all things seeds and what I'm starting inside today, and then a few other goodies too towards the end. We're going to give you an update on some chicks. I'm going to give you updates on baby goat watch. Yes, we are on baby goat watch, getting closer and closer all the time at least. And then updates on Minnesota spring and where we are at when it comes to planning for the 2023 garden season. So first things first, the chicks, they are doing very good. They're about yay big, about this big. And they're doing really well. They still have some heat on them. The temperatures are slowly but surely increasing here in the great state of Minnesota. I think it's going to be close to the 40s Fahrenheit. I apologize. I don't know what that is Celsius. I should know, but I don't offhand. And it's getting closer. So it's like right on that. It's right on the snow can melt season, which turns into mud season. If you live on a farm, you know what I'm talking about. You know what mud season is. So mud season, by the way, I have also declared is we do not mop. I have a hard time keeping up on floors to begin with on a farm, but in the spring and when everything is wet and gross and you have dogs and cats and kids and husband and me, I'm not perfect. Your floors are perpetually footprinty. So, you are welcome to my table anytime, but the good saying of the floor is so clean you could eat off of it. No, it's not. So don't. All right. The next thing is baby goat watch. We are really, really, really close to being on that baby goat watch. And I don't have my paper in front of me. Hold, please. Okay. So I keep a journal for my goats as well as I do for my garden. So let's see here. My goats are roughly due this year. They are roughly due the 1st through 2nd week of April. So we're getting really close. This year, we only bred 3 goats because the other ones I was waiting until they got a little bit bigger to breed. And 1 goat I am no longer breeding. So I am predicting that Edna will go first, then Star, and then Etta. And Etta is my first time freshener. Freshening means a goat is going to have kids, going to have babies, going to have baby goats. So Ed is a first-time freshener, and I'm hoping everyone who has first-time anything, whether it's a cow or a goat or anything, you're hoping that they're not going to have overly large offspring. And with a goat, because they have multiples a lot of times, you're hoping that they have not 1 goat, because then if they have just 1, the chances of it being overly large is quite high. So you want them to have 2 smaller goats so they less complication. So I'm hoping that Etta, guys, I'm hoping that Etta will have 2 on the smaller side, not unhealthy, but on the smaller side of goats. So that's where we are at with the goats. And then Minnesota spring, as I said before, we're creeping up into the 40s. I think within next week is April. So that's crazy. And I'm hoping that everything, since we got so much snow, I'm hoping everything melts slowly. So I don't want really, as much as I'm excited for spring, I don't want really high temperatures really fast all of a sudden, because then that is going to just create a mess and be worse for people that live closer to rivers and floodplains and things like that, because there'll be much more flooding if everything melts fast and the ground cannot absorb that moisture as fast as it's melting. So now on to what we are here for. So the last time we spoke about the 2023 garden season, much better. If you're wondering, I take my coffee, strong, and no cream, no sugar, just black. So seeds. First, I'm going to go through with you on the seeds that I'm going to start inside. And I'm also then going to show you kind of mingled in there on which seeds are the ones that I purchased and the ones that I saved myself from last year. Now, because I'm newer-ish, newer on saving seeds. I'm just looking for a book behind me, sorry. I'm newer on saving seeds. I try not to put all my eggs in one basket. Pardon the farm pun. So if I start some plants, or if I plant seeds from seeds that I started myself last year, I usually also use some store-bought seeds just in case I did something goofy or wrong, or the timing was off, or for the most part, saving seeds is pretty uncomplicated. There's a few types of plants that they're a little bit more involved, but it's pretty simple. And it's so exciting. It's like, okay, I have this heirloom plant. I grew all this amazing food, right, in my backyard grocery store. And now I'm going to save just like 1 or 2 or 3 different pieces of food, and I'm going to let it ripen, and I'm going to do all the things. And then I'm going to take all the little teeny tiny seeds, I'm going to save them, and I'm going to make more of that yummy food that I need next year. And from the little tiny seeds that I saved, it's really, 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 it's just mind blowing how awesome it is, because it's a renewable resource. There are certain types of seeds, like I said, that's a little bit more complicated, and they cross-pollinate much easier. So sometimes you get surprises, but it's still food. It's still food. And especially, it's going to be a whole heck of a lot cheaper for the most part. Once you get going, at least, than buying fresh organic food from the grocery store, I think. I've never done all the math, but there's lots of benefits to it. Okay, so I'm going to get started. So, like I said before, I have a container. This happens to be a bag that it's labeled 2023 seed starts. So this tells me that these are all the seeds that I'm going to start in my home before it is nice enough to grow them in the ground. Obviously, it is white. Snow. All right, first things first. I am going to start, hi buddy. I am going to start broccoli. Now, broccoli likes cool temperatures. Broccoli will what they call bolt in hot temperatures. So I want to get my broccoli started inside. It also is okay with transplanting and things like that. Certain types of plants don't like transplanting, like beans and peas and cucumbers. They don't like transplanting. I don't start those inside. They have a shorter growing season in Minnesota. I don't have to worry about it. Okay, so I have, drum roll please, my first ever, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Yep. Seeds that I took from my broccoli from last year. All I did is I saved the seeds pods. I let them dry out completely, put them in a bag, hung them up for a while. And then I took those seeds, and you can see some other stuff in there too, but I took those seeds and I just labeled them well and put them in a bag. Now, I don't know exactly what type of broccoli this is, because last year I planted Waltham 29 broccoli from Baker Creek. I planted a Sun King hybrid from Burpee. And I could have very well, guys, planted, pardon me on my Italian, I think this is Italian, broccoli seeds, Desico seeds as well from Isla's Garden Seed Company. I think I got these on Amazon a while back. So that's one thing I probably could have done better, is understood which plants, which variety I took those from. But just excited that it actually worked, and I have a whole bunch of teeny tiny seeds. So I'm going to start several broccoli plants, because not only do we like fresh broccoli, oh, you guys, fresh broccoli cut and washed and steamed right out of the garden is so amazing. I will do that, eat them fresh, and then I will also eat them, hopefully. We've never been able to do this yet, but I want to grow enough broccoli to freeze it and be able to enjoy it for the remainder of the year in stir fries and in sheet pan meals, all that good stuff. So that is number one. I don't know exactly how many plants. I'm probably going to do a third of a tray. So several plants. And always, as always, I should say, if I have too many plants, is there a thing? If I have too many starts, I call around to my people. You know who you are. If you're my people, you say hi in the comments, my people. And I call them up and I say, hey, are you in need of broccoli? Because I have 300. And they say, yes. Okay, on to the next thing. Bell peppers. Bell peppers, sweet peppers. They have a longer growing season, and they really, really, really like warmth. They like warm soil. They like warmth. So I definitely will not start them directly into the garden in the state, because I would never get any fruit. So I have to start them early. One of the newer plants that I did last year was so fun, and it's really, really beautiful. And I wish it stayed this color, but it's still beautiful and it's really delicious, is a lilac bell pepper. There you go. Lilac bell pepper from Baker Creek. Now, I also saved the seeds. Peppers are known to cross-pollinate, and I planted them too close, so we'll see what happens. But I have these, and you can hear them in there. I also have King of the North Baker Creek seeds, also still in the package. And then I have King of the North Seed Save seeds. I have Purple Bell Seed Save seeds. And then something that's really exciting, is I have a bullnose pepper, which is also something that originally I bought from Baker Creek, which is rareseeds.com. I'm just giving them free plug-in here. So, because, I have so many people that watch this. Bullnose pepper. Now, this is going to be the third year that I have. So, first year I used the seeds that I purchased, got the plant, saved the seeds, planted those last year. It worked. I tracked which ones did and which ones were from my seed saves and which ones were not. It worked. Then I save the seeds again. So number 2 of seed saving. So this is second. This will be, is that going to be second, third generation? Anyways, this is going to be bullnose bell peppers from the second time saving my seeds from the seed saved marked plants. So very, 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 very excited about those. And yes, I'm going to be starting several bell peppers. They are so good, and we use them in a lot of food. I love freezing them. I love gifting them, selling them at the farmer's market, all that good thing. So next thing we're going to talk about that we're going to start from seeds. This is my second year doing these. And I'm really excited about these because the soup that I made from these turned out really well. They take a long time to grow, but I really like them. And I only grew like 4 plants last year, but I made enough soup to last us. I mean, with the variety of the other things that we eat from my canned, home canned things, is leeks. Now this again, there you go. It's from Baker Creek. And yeah, they smell fantastic. I made potato leek soup, and I used my own potatoes. I used my own leeks. I used my own chicken broth that I made from the bone broth that I make, and it was fantastic. So, and it was great because the soup from the leeks, you can blend up and have it be like a smooth, creamy beautifulness, or you can have it be chunky and just have it be chunks of potatoes and chunks of leeks, and then I don't usually heavily season my soup before I can it. I'm getting off on a tangent, sorry. But add salt and away we go. So that's the other thing that we're doing this year. We're starting those, and they take a little bit longer. I'm going to save 2 things that I get all geeked out. All of it I get geeked out, but 2 things for last. Go back to the pepper realm. These are more of the spicy peppers. Some of them are spicy, some of them are actually spicy. And not just Minnesota spicy, actual spicy. Some of them are no spice. We'll talk about that too, but they're supposed to be. Weird, huh? So the first one is probably our all-time favorite as of last year, is the poblano pepper. Now, there you go. I saved, so I have some in here that are purchased, but I also had seed saved poblanos from last year. I am very excited. Let's see here. I have, I don't know where it went. I'm missing my jalapenos. I'll probably grow a jalapeno or 2, but I'm not going to go crazy because we have so many pickled jalapenos from last year. I do not need to can them this year. So it'll just be fresh eating and for salsa. They're somewhere. I think they're probably in my big pile of seed saved. So we'll do that. We will do some nada penos, which is just fun to say, which is for you people that like jalapenos but really don't like spice. It's literally a heatless jalapeno. So if you like jalapeno poppers because you like the cream cheese and all the goodness and the bacon, and that sounds amazing now. But you just can't handle that heat, or maybe you have a health condition, you can't do the heat. Nada peno. Another nada type of pepper is a habanada, which is it's the first time trying these ones, is a heatless habanero. Now, I love the flavor of habaneros. They have this beautiful, complex, fruity, almost mango-y flavor, but I couldn't just bite into one because they're really spicy, even for me. So, and then the other one that I really like, and that I like to do, and it's got some sentimental value too, and it's really fun to say, it's called the ají sharpeado. Hopefully I'm saying that right. It's a teeny tiny, there we go, teeny tiny little pepper. It's like the size of my fingernail, and they take a long time to mature, but it's really fun to like add them into things because there's little pieces of pepper, and they're supposed to be the world's most valuable pepper. And I believe they are originally from the kitchens of Peru. The back of the the seed packet says a super tiny pepper from Peru. Yep. Often grown as a houseplant, where the small peppers are harvested as needed in the kitchen. The pepper has a distinct fruity citrus aroma and equal in heat to a cayenne pepper. So there you go. But they're just adorable and they're fun to grow and all those things. So the next thing is a brand new one that I'm really excited about. And I think I talked about this before, but this is called the shishito pepper. And I think I got that focused right away. Look at me go. So really excited about the shishito peppers. I saw so many different blogs from some of my favorite people talking about the shishito peppers and how they would blister them and then eat them and add them to their favorite dishes. And I'm really excited about that. So that is my pepper minus my jalapenos because I must have been tired when I was sorting these. So put those back together. Now we have cabbage. Now cabbage is, I haven't exactly figured out which cabbages I like the best. And we are not going to be growing several rows of cabbage this year. We want it for fresh eating and dehydrating. I really, really love dehydrated cabbage, you guys. It's fantastic. You can just wash it, obviously, slice it, dehydrate it, and right in my massive dehydrator that I have over there. Or you can do it on a small one too. Or you can do it in the oven. That's an option. But you add it to soups and stir fries in the middle of winter and it's just waiting for you to be eaten. And my son calls it noodles. He loves cabbage in soup. So I've got several different types of cabbage that I'm growing. Now this one, I believe this is the one that I liked the most last year. And it's supposed to be very good for storage. And that's what we're going to try this year. I recently was gifted a free older side-by-side refrigerator freezer. And I'm putting it in the basement and I'm going to use it for my fresh storage for over the winter. So that would be apples, that would be cabbage, that would be ferments, that will eventually be goat's milk, things like that. That's not over the winter storage. That's just spring and summer and whatnot. But anyways, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try my hand at storage cabbage this year. So really excited about that because just as a backstory, I don't know if anyone has ever purchased a cabbage from the grocery store. It stays, if you keep it whole, it stays really good a really long time in your fridge. You just got to peel back the first couple layers of the outside of the cabbage leaves. On the inside, it's beautiful cabbage. So I will show you what one looks like. I actually have an example downstairs in my basement right now, but different time. So cabbage, this is called Glory of, oh great. It's ENKHUIZEN. Enkhuizen, maybe? Again, plugging Baker Creek. Another one is that I'm going to try. I don't know if I did this last year or not, but it's picked up from the hardware store, Morse brand cabbage. It's Fairies Round Dutch. So probably try that. And then Brunswick is another cabbage. That's also an heirloom. By the way, anything that I show you that is from Baker Creek is heirloom. So that's nice. For red cabbage, I also like to grow a few for fresh eating and then for dehydrating. Normally, also, I like to do pickled cabbage or pickled coleslaw. But I also have so much. But I might do a few jars of purple because I didn't do any purple. My purple cabbages did not love on me very much last year. So we'll see how I do this year. My cousin, oh my gosh, he loves, shout out to Ross. He really likes my pickled cabbage. So, and then the other thing that's good for fresh eating, and then if you're looking for, maybe I want to try kimchi, something like that for a ferment, is your Napa or Chinese cabbage. So I'm going to start some of those as well. So on to the next one. coffee is my tomatoes. Now, we spoke about my tomatoes a little bit last in phase 1 video that we did. And just to recap how cool it is to grow your own food. So doing the math on a dollar store packet of seeds. So this was 25 cents, probably plus tax. I don't know. There's roughly 60 seeds in there. And by my math, that is 0.004 cent per seed. I really hope I'm doing this right and I'm not showing my ineptness. That's a fraction of a cent per seed. And you get, I mean, how many tomatoes would you get off of a plant? A lot. That's a lot less. I mean, it's going to be your time. It's going to be your attention. It's going to be you not forgetting to water it. But it's pretty cool if you think about how many things you can grow for just a fraction. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. You don't have to order it. You can go to the dollar store and pick up seeds. It doesn't have to be heirloom. It doesn't have to be marked as non-GMO. There's something behind that, by the way. I believe in the United States of America, it is actually illegal for companies to sell GMO seeds as to just the everyday Jane and Joe. Now you can do heirloom seeds if it's being on mass production, non-GMO, sorry. Or it can be GMO that way. But when it comes to your seed packets, if it screams, oh, non-GMO, blah, 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 it has to be. It's just marketing. Okay. All right. So I got my dollar store seeds. There we go. I'm going to try these good old beefsteak, delicious tomato sandwich tomatoes. I'm also going to do Romas. These are from Gurney's. I'm going to do San Marzanos, also from Gurney's. And then I have hybrid Sun Gold tomatoes. I also have seed-saved Romas San Marzanos. I also have seed-saved black strawberry, which are the coolest looking tomato. Let's see if I can, here, I'm going to open it out way up. How pretty are those? I mean, just gorgeous. And they take they're about the size of a larger cherry tomato. They're not a big tomato, but man, are they tasty. That like umami flavor that's really intense. The other thing that kind of categorized in the tomato family is a tomatillo. Loved these tomatillos. Last year, I didn't grow enough because I wasn't sure how I'd like them. And I took my tomato salsa recipe and just flip-flopped it for the tomatillos. Oh my gosh, it was fantastic. It was so beautiful and bright purple, and it stayed purple. It's faded a little bit now that it's been in the pantry for a while, since last fall. But yes, definitely doing tomatillos. And then I'm also trying for the first time these cute little spoon tomatoes. Look at that. And trying for the first time that tomato. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. It says it's a sweet red 1-ounce fruit that grows ridiculously large clusters. Popular small tomato with seed collectors who know it possesses scrumptious classic cherry tomato that has largely been lost over the years. These large plants produce massive yields. Very exciting because my favorite salsa is cherry tomato salsa. And then also, this is the first year that they've had this, is a Sun Gold tomato that is stable-ish, if I remember. And I think I talked to you guys about this before. I think they're getting it to the point where it's heirloom, maybe, but maybe I'm wrong. So don't quote me on that. If you have questions, just ask them. So that one, and then I'm trying something new too from Gurney's. It's called it's not an heirloom, it's a hybrid, which is okay to do hybrid tomatoes too. It's called Easy Sauce Hybrid. So it caught my eye. I'm like, you know what? We're gonna try this. So I'm going to try this. I won't save the seeds necessarily from these because I don't know what I will get the following year because they're not stable, but wanted to try it. So I am. All right. Now that we have spoken about all the yummy, delicious tomatoes and tomatillos, I'm going to clip. I get these. It's done. I get these also from the dollar store. There are some things that are not worth buying from the dollar store and some things that are. So I save a lot of money by being frugal for necessity sometimes and challenge. All right. Last two things we're going to talk about when it comes to my starts anyways is flowers. Anyway, it's okay. Flowers and herbs. So we're going to go through flowers first. And these are these are seed started flowers. I have a whole lot that I'm going to direct sow as well, direct into the garden, like my wildflowers and my sunflowers. A lot of times my sunflowers, since this is, I think the second year I've done sunflowers. This garden is only, how many years old is this garden? 4 years old. This is its 4th year. So it'll be 5 years in this house. We didn't have a garden the first year. So yeah, 4 years old. But I didn't do sunflowers, I think the first year, maybe not even the second year. I don't remember, honestly, but I love them and the birds love them and the pollinators love them. And they're so easy to save the seeds. And I still find myself once in a while buying new seeds for sunflowers, but they come up even when I don't plant them. I call them volunteers and it's beautiful. And sometimes I do pull them if they're in the middle of a row, but a lot of times I don't. Okay. So one of the plants that I did for the very first time last year was called a red striped aster. And I have a picture of it, I think, in here. Here we go. This is what they look like. Boo. I think Matsumoto red striped aster. But I saved the seeds. I just let them dry out and I plucked them off and I made sure they're dry and I put them in a baggie and marked what they were. Didn't put the year on. That's okay. So going to start those. And the awesome thing about these asters I found is they make amazing cut flowers, you guys. Amazing. They last. How long did those flowers last on the table, guys? Do you remember? Like 2 weeks. Now they faded a little bit, but like 2 weeks. And I just added water. These flowers lasted on the table. Super excited about those. Another one that I wanted to try last year, but I didn't, was these black-eyed Susan vines. And this is just so pretty. And it kind of goes along with the warmness of our house, like the color and the trim. So I'm going to try those probably up front. I'm going to get those started. Of course, you have your zinnias. These are just dollar store zinnias. I actually think I got these on clearance at the dollar store. I'm probably going to start a few more echinacea. I've got super double echinaceas. I've got yellow echinacea. I've got regular echinacea. This is from Amazon purchase. Echinacea is fantastic. The roots are fantastic for calming and cold and all that good stuff. And I don't have anything that are blooming yet. And I'm really working on the different medicinal herbs that I want to develop in the garden. So going to start some more of those. I'm going to also, these are so pretty. And I had a few come up like just do really good on the patio because it's not as sunny, is these brush stroke pansies. And they are also from Baker Creek, but look how gorgeous those are. So excited to have more of those. And then these also are really pretty. These are called Tiger Leta violas, pansies. Also very, very, very pretty and very unique looking. Next up is some zinnias. Really love zinnias. I did these last year. There you go. I'm going to do them more. I'm purchased these brand new this year. These are called Queenie Lemon Peach. And then I have Queen Lime Red. So cute. Oh, here's another aster. A couple more asters. How gorgeous is that aster? Like, wow.
Sounds like you're saying a bad word.
I'm not saying a bad word. There's some more. This one is Masamuru Formula Mix. And then I'm going to try to get some bee balm going. Also fantastic for the pollinators. And you can make jelly out of them. And then I have some salvia. Really, really deep purple color that I want to get going as well in the garden. So it's a lot of flowers, you guys. But it'll be worth it. And I have, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 plus options for trays of starts. So we should be okay. Should be. And I can always get creative on my indoor lettuce garden too if I need to make more space. I think I could probably use that if I run out of shelving. Life goal, by the way, for this woman is to have a greenhouse. We will see if that happens. What do you guys think about greenhouse? Yay? Nay? Let me know. All right, on to herbs. Hopefully, by the way, you're liking this information and all of my babbling and going on and on about how excited I am about this. Hopefully you're loving it and you're, just to give you a little plug. I'm going to give you a shameless plug. Liking, subscribing, and handing things off. If you like it and commenting helps us out so big. And if you don't like something, let me know. Hey, I was in technology, women in leadership for 20 years. I got thick skin. I can handle it. Let me know if you don't like something. But can't tell you I'm going to stop. But anyways, all right. Thank you. Shameless plug, done. Next to my herbs. Maybe. Next on to my herbs. So on one of the channels that I watch, and you guys have heard me talk about Roots and Refuge, they had a gal, and I really wish I could remember their farm's name. They had a guest and talking about basil iced tea, and I'm so excited to try it this year. So I'm going to plant extra basil. So I've got basil, large leaf Italian basil right there. I've got more lemon balm. Love lemon balm. I love growing things that I can make into teas, and I will have to post something or put something in the comments and let you know what my tea looked like and how it turned out. I did some sleepy time tea for the kids and myself this year, and it turned out really good. And speaking of sleepy time tea, I used this chamomile. So I think that some of it might come back in the garden because this is supposed to be a very hardy variety of chamomile. It's Zlati Lan. But maybe I could be wrong. Frost hardy, yes. So maybe it comes back just fine. We'll see. But in the case that it doesn't, I'm going to start my own. Stevia. I have just a few tiny seeds left in here. If for whatever reason they don't work, I'll probably end up buying a plant because I really like having stevia to sweeten my own tea. It just really, it brings out the flavors and you don't have to worry about adding anything to it. The other type of basil that I really like, this is more of a dwarf basil. It's really pretty. I don't know if it's gonna, this is called purple ball basil and it's very purple and it's from Baker Creek. I'm also gonna start some peppermint because I was a ding dong last year and I didn't start any and then I wanted it for tea and I didn't have any. So I had to buy, in my tea is not my own peppermint and that's just like, I had to buy it organically on Amazon. Other thing that I love growing and overgrowing is oregano, not just for myself, but for my animals. Oregano has some incredible antimicrobial properties, and it really, really, really is very beneficial for chickens, especially, and I'm sure it's good for many other animals too. I will pull off sprigs of oregano, and when I'm filling up the chicken water, I will just crunch it a little bit. It smells like spaghetti sauce, throw it in there, and it helps keep them healthy. It helps, it's just incredible stuff. So the other thing, lime basil, smells so good. Add it to your iced tea, add it to your savory dishes, add it to your fish, your tea, make tea out of it. Fantastic. I'm going to be growing more thyme, but then also orange thyme this year. I've got lemon basil, which is also very, very, very good. And I added that to my tea blend as well. We have dill. Most of my dill will probably just pop up, no problem, because it self-seeds. But I have extra dill that I can start just in case, because I'm going to be doing pickles this year, and I always do refrigerator pickles as well. I've got two different brands of lavender here, and I think they're both the same. Munstead lavender, again, a new one for this year because I forgot to plant it last year, and making soaps, if I ever make soap or bath bombs or even tea, things like that, I want to be able to have my own lavender around. Cinnamon basil, new one. I'm excited to try this for tea. And then I have two different types of lemon balm. I don't know how they're different from the other one, but one says it's limoncello and one says it's mandarania. So different types of lemon balm. It'll be fun to try those and get those started as well. So we got a lot to start, a lot. And I am falling behind this year, unfortunately. But I think in the previous years, I've started too soon and then I've had a jungle, and that's okay too. But I think we'll be okay, especially since it's almost April and we still have not just inches of snow on the ground, but feet of snow on the ground. So, all right. Now, a couple other updates I wanted to share with you. You know what? No, take that back. I'm not going to go through all of my other seeds save seeds from last year because my timer says I've been talking now for 45 minutes unedited. So this will be enough. But I do want to give you some words of encouragement. I did not grow up gardening. I grew up in the burbs. My husband did grow up gardening, so he has a little advantage, but he's not here right now. You don't have to be fancy. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't need a lot of space. A lot of things you can grow in a pot. You can grow peppers in a pot. You can grow tomatoes in a pot. You can grow flowers in a pot. You can grow herbs in a pot. A lot of lettuces you can grow in a pot. There's so many things you can grow in a pot. You don't need fancy seed start things. I'm just gradually building my way to there after several years of doing this. When I remember the year that I wanted to start my own seeds, I had my mom and myself save yogurt containers and any type of container possible. Like there's Cool Whip and sherbet containers. We just saved containers like this, like crazy, drilled holes in them and used them to start seeds. I have started seeds in lettuce containers before. Works fantastic. I have started seeds in the containers that I washed out from the previous year, from the little brown things and the pots that you got from the nursery. I saved them, put them in the garage, washed them out in the beginning of the year, and started seeds in there. We've started seeds with no grow lights, with grow lights. We finally upped our game a little bit and did get grow lights. You can use regular lights. I do think if you're going to start things inside, you need a light that's close to the plant so you don't get long leggy things. We have warming mats for on the bottom, but we haven't always. So we've started seeds before we lived here. We started seeds. We lived in a 2-bedroom townhouse. We got an itty bitty tiny little rack with a cover to keep the moisture in, and we shoved it in front of a south-facing window. That's how we started seeds. And this is when we had a garden before we lived here. This is when we had a garden at someone else's house. We had a garden at my in-laws' house because we didn't have a garden because we lived in a townhouse. We lived in the middle of the city. Well, it wasn't city, but it was not in the country. So I just want to encourage you. If you've thought before, oh, I wish, or I should do that, or just start small. Grow one thing. Try growing a couple tomatoes. Do your research. Check out a few tips from other people that have worked their way into gardening. I'm an accidental farmer / gardener. I never in a million years thought I would be doing this. So, and I'm going to specifically have a video one of these days when we ever can get outside in my happy place, that garden. I'm going to show you how I plant my tomatoes in the ground, and you can follow along. I will bring you along with me. For right now, we're stuck inside, but we are chatting together on one of my favorite subjects. So that's a positive thing. So just a word of encouragement. You don't need anything fancy. You don't need a lot of money. You can go to the dollar store, buy seeds there. You can save your containers. I mean, I've seen people grow food in a kiddie pool, in a old, name any kind of container. I mean, you could grow food in a basket. You could grow food in a box. So many different places you could do this. I mean, I've grown and experimented with growing lettuce and beets inside in the middle of winter. Actually, tomatoes once too. So don't be discouraged. You don't need to do all the things. You cannot boil the ocean. Just start somewhere. You will be so surprised and you will get so much out of that connection. Like, I started that seed, I grew that plant, and now I'm eating what it has given me. It's incredible. So I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for learning with me on the way and putting up with my randomness of thoughts. Hopefully you can keep up. Sometimes I can't even keep up with myself. And thank you for your grace and your patience as I learn how to do this and all the editing and the thumbnails and all the things. So thank you for your graciousness again. Thank you for being here. And I hope you have an incredibly blessed day. Cheers. I think I got it. Is it going? It's going. Okay. Hi. Welcome to and you're probably gonna hear my noisy kids in the background because they're playing a game right now, and we have passion in our family. So, and you're probably gonna hear a dog too. That's okay. No perfection here. Now what we're on to do is we are going to talk about our seeds. Where's my coffee? I need my coffee. Hold please.